Fantastic. All right, we are live on Facebook now. So, greetings and welcome to Trapsis Draws. This is episode 2. I know I said I was going to do this as a daily show, and I missed yesterday, and I have a great reason for missing yesterday. I'm getting a so some technical difficulties on YouTube, and I don't. Jake, can you see? It says an error occurred. Let me refresh the browser here. Okay, I want to make sure I am okay. Okay, great. Let me just mute that line because I'm going to really distract myself. So that was not a great start, but this is episode 2, so this happens. So again, this is Trapsis Draws. It's my hopefully daily show of just chilling out and relaxing and drawing with friends or just myself. But today, like the other day, day before yesterday, I am joined by a guest, and his name is Jay Miller, and he is a fitness coach and artist. So let me bring the screen up and say hi, Jay. Jay, you there? You are live.
All right, am I live here? I am here. How are we doing?
Good to see you. We're doing okay. So we'll see who joins, but I got the chat. Okay, today I actually have a little window in the very center where you can see the chat, and so as folks come in, and maybe nobody will come in. It may just be Jay and I, and maybe you'll find this weeks later, but hey, that's okay. We're going to have fun. I've got a seltzer here. So how are things going, Jay? What are you drinking? I got a polar orange. Looks like you have the same thing.
Have a
okay. Well, it's the same flavor, I guess. I drink way too much seltzer.
same. There's no seltzers.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just water, right, with a little carbonation in it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
So we had some audio cutting in and out, but hopefully it won't happen too much. All right. So a few things. So we're looks like we'll talk about a little bit about what we're drawing here, and then we can chat about a few other things. So first off, how you holding up? I mean,
sounds
good.
Is,
for me, this is I don't know, week 2 of quarantine. I'm going a little stir crazy. Now the kids are joining me in stir craziness as they're now they're doing homeschooling essentially. So that's going fun. We'll talk about that a bit later. But how are you holding up?
I'm doing pretty good. My my other kind of my other obsession outside of fitness outside of drawing is fitness, and I'm actually lucky enough to I'm continuing on that job and that profession. Hopefully it keeps up, and so right now I'm doing good. I'm just trying to balance my time between still taking some time to draw and all that good stuff.
Nice. I'm glad you have an outlet. I mean, that's so important too. I mean, you got to relax and unwind after work, and even if you love your job, I think it's important. So
yeah, I agree.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about you? We had a little chat beforehand, and I heard some exciting news. So maybe you could share what's going on at your work.
So what I'm doing is I am actually in the process of opening up I'm through a company, a awesome woman that I work for. I am helping her facilitate starting virtual online group fitness training.
Wow.
And it's definitely nothing that it's definitely nothing that a lot of people in the world anticipated. It's not necessarily something that a lot of people are ready for, but it's here, and it's kind of the main way for people that are in the fitness world, whether it's your job or you're just a big fitness fan, to continue on with it.
Jay,
that's kind of what I've been doing.
I think people are craving this. I think it's kind of like the Peloton thing, right? I mean, you want to. I mean, you want to work out, right? You need to work out, but you'd like to work out with friends. But here we all are stuck in our house, and what are you going to do? So this seems like a really cool, ideal way. So what's the technology behind it? How does this all work?
So the technology behind what we're doing is we're doing it through a couple different portals. So I would say the main one that we're working through is Zoom.
Okay.
So Zoom is the main platform for us to actually have our classes, which is kind of cool. And Zoom is basically, it's kind of like Skype, but you can do like groups of people very easily, in terms of like you can work with groups of people very easily. So
it's interesting you mentioned that, because my sister-in-law teaches up in Vermont. I'm sorry, in Vermont. She teaches up in New Hampshire at a small school, and she's at home right now, stuck like everyone else is, and she's connecting with her class over. I guess it's Google Meetings. It's the same idea as Zoom, though. It's like one person facilitates, and then everyone else can join in. So I assume it's kind of like that, right? So you're kind of facilitating this, and everybody's joining in, and they can talk to you. Is that it?
Yeah. So it's interesting in the way they have the technology set up, where I'm the host of the meeting, and let's say I'm looking to address my whole class. I can mute everybody so that even if they're attempting to kind of like have a conversation with each other, that I can kind of shut that off and just be like, hey guys, like I'm going to start explaining what we're doing today. And then whether we're in the workout or as we're doing the cool down and stretching, then I can unmute everybody and people can kind of catch up with their friends as if they were kind of stretching at the end of class, like they normally would.
That's cool. I mean, it's almost like you're there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And like that's the goal, is to kind of replicate it as much as as much as is reasonable. Kind of replicating that idea of being out with your friends, and for a lot of people that do group training, just kind of trying to make it as similar to the real thing as possible.
Yeah, I can see that really taking off. I mean, if you've got existing clientele, I think they'd all sign up, right? And
yeah, I mean, that's what we're hoping.
And even if you've never done anything like that before, I mean, folks are looking for some way to get that remote training in. So like, how much does it cost to join?
So we don't really necessarily know how long this whole thing is going to be going on. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's changing day to day, and no matter where you are in the world, I'm sure you're feeling the effects of that. But what we're doing is we're offering class 6 days a week. So one class a day, 6 days a week, and it costs $100. And the other thing you have access to is our Facebook group that gets updated daily. And then I'm also doing goal setting sessions with everybody that's signing up. So throughout the month, you can sign up as whenever you want, but 2 15-minute goal setting sessions with a trainer, just to make sure that you're staying on track with your food and your routine and your nutrition and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty reasonable, actually.
Yeah.
Especially if you're throwing, and I had no idea you're doing nutrition as well.
Yep. So nutrition is definitely a topic that I know we understand that a lot of people are going to want to cover, especially when you're at home and you're like, oh man, like I'm stir crazy, I'm bored. What is one of the first things people do when they're bored is they go to the fridge. And so we're going to try and help people kind of manage that as well.
So are you offering like meal plans or anything, or is it just like suggestions for healthy snacking? Or?
It's just kind of like general, general tactic. Make sure that you're not overeating just because you're bored. And I do have meal plan information that I can give out to people, but considering all of that is kind of lumped into one sum, we're just trying to keep it simple for everybody right now.
Yeah.
If this thing continues on, then we'll explore doing more detailed stuff. But for right now, at least, we're just trying to make it simple and just give everybody resources where they can, they feel like they have some structure to their life and they have access to a professional that's helping.
Yeah, we certainly need that. Hey, if you want, I'll have some information on your class in the description below after the chat's done.
Sounds great.
Yeah, after the webcast. But if you want, you can throw your class in the chat. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, I can. Let me work on it. Let me grab.
Right now, I see no one joining, but don't let that worry you. They could be checking in later, so
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
deleting this.
So what I'm doing is I'm putting in my solo personal training information down there in the chat, and since we don't have the portal built to sign up for what we're talking about, you guys can just contact me through there, and then if you're interested, we can kind of take it to the next level.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I mean, this is a way for you to meet clientele and have customers coming in from out of state too. I mean, anybody could do this at any location.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody across the country wanted to join us, they absolutely can.
That is neat. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm really getting into this distance learning now that my kids have to do it, and like I said, my sister-in-law, and I was Skyping with my brother. Just actually was what was it? I guess we're using Google. I guess it was Hangouts or something, or Google Meet, and we chatted for, oh boy, it felt like about an hour or so. And while we were on the phone, actually, somebody called him, and he got some business. He got
Oh, wow.
he got a client. Now he does construction. And
Okay.
yeah, he's kind of he's a contractor, but he's amazing. He builds furniture. He built the futon like right over there, and an entertainment center for my folks. So he's really handy in that area. It's a skill I do not have, unfortunately. But we all have our little talents. So I don't feel bad about that. But I know if I need something, I know who to call.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I was worried that he would have a hard time these days finding work. But it turns out he's doing okay.
Well, that's good to hear, man. I mean, I think anybody that's keeping their head above water these days is winning.
Yeah, no question about that. Definitely. And if you have a job, that's a blessing. If you don't, maybe you can pursue a passion or something, and it'll all turn around. Honestly, things will get a lot better.
Yep, it's just a matter of time, man.
It absolutely is. So, speaking of it, of that, I think my brother just joined in. At least I think that's him. It says, "Hey, bro."
Yeah, ask him. I'm interested if he can see what I'm doing, because I don't see what I'm doing on the stream right now.
Well, I can see what you're doing on the stream, and I see a can at the moment. It's focused on the can, but I saw.
See, what's weird?
Oh, wait a minute! Hold on. I'm seeing. It is not refresh. Hold on, just a second. It's
sure.
My mistake, folks, and I'm glad that you said something, because it's just out of it's zoomed in on the can. So hold on a second. I'll fix that. Technical glitches. This is just episode 2, so. Okay.
Yeah, on my I'm looking at the picture that I'm getting on my phone, and I have my turtle. I don't know.
Thank you.
Ask.
And never hesitate to point me in the right direction, Jay, because I'm still learning this stuff too. How's that?
Yeah, much.
Okay. So yep. And David confirmed that. So hey, Super Decat, thanks for joining us. And while we're talking about what we're doing here, so why don't we talk a little bit about what we're drawing? Jay, you can go first, and then
Okay.
I'll talk about my craziness over here.
Okay. So when I was when I was a kid, I used to love like martial arts, and I don't know which came first, my love of martial arts or my love of the Ninja Turtles, but so I this honestly just started as like a sketch one day, and I was just lucky that it was on like nice paper, because I feel like almost all the time when I start something that I'm really happy with, it's never on nice paper that can take a lot of coloring and shading. Um, and it's interesting that I'm really trying to learn about shading, and then so I'm learning outside of this piece, and then I'm coming back to it to apply what I've learned. Um,
So are you using
and
watercolors there? Looks like that's what you're doing.
so I have some, I think these are just Pentel brushes. So I have a black and a gray. And basically what I'm doing is I'm diluting it a little bit with some water. And then I'm using that as kind of like an ink wash, like a gray ink
Got it.
wash to create some shadows. Um, whether or not that's the professional right way to do it, I don't know. But that's kind of where my head's at right now. So I'm just going with it.
Fantastic. I love the style of your turtle. I mean, it's not obviously looking like a traditional Ninja Turtle. It looks more like, kind of like more like a realistic turtle than a Ninja Turtle. It's kind of a cross between the two, huh?
More human, I think. But yeah, I mean, for better, I mean, it's fun. Like I think this is definitely one of my level up pieces. So I'm trying to really take my time with it. Um, but yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I could cross a bridge and then I could completely screw it up. But for right now, it's kind of, I think it's going in a good direction.
I like it. Yeah, very cool, and a good job with coloring too.
Thank you. Yeah. So what are you working on, man?
Okay, so I think everything's in focus now, which is good. But not everyone could see what I was doing last time. But this is a Pokemon base, and it was inspired by the virus that's going around. So this is COVID-19 Pokemon, and it looks like one of the
I love
poison
it.
Pokemon that's out there. I'll admit that I kind of stole it. Was it Wheeze or something like that? Yeah, Wheezing. It looks like the wheezing Pokemon, but it's all.
I don't think I know. I got to plead ignorance there. I don't really know enough about Pokemon to know all that
Well,
stuff,
it's
but
funny. I mean,
I'm
I
sure
don't
the
really know either, but my son Lo knows every conceivable thing about Pokemon, and he's been giving me an education. And I think my brother's son used to trade the cards and play the games, or at least he traded the cards. And my brother made a really neat box, and put a ton of his son's Pokemon cards in it, and gave it to my son, and I think that really reinforced his love of Pokemon. Of course, they all love the animation, right? The TV show.
okay.
So that's where I heard it, right? I mean, because you can't
I,
ignore it, right? If it's playing every day. Now they don't watch it anymore, but they used to watch it all the time, and of course I'd have to watch too. So
of
yeah,
course.
last night. So when we did this the other day, it was just a rough sketch, and then last night during the Monday Night Jam, and we'll plug Matt here. Um, I finished. I colored this in just the Pokemon. Yeah, last night at 6 o'clock. No, yes, 6 o'clock Eastern. Matt Ryan from Free Lunch Studios hosts a Monday Night Jam on Facebook, and he does it Facebook Live. And so if you're in Facebook and you do a search on Free Lunch Studios, you'll find his channel, or whatever you call it there, on Facebook. And every Monday he streams live, and you can join in and draw with him. He's usually drawing something pretty cool. I think he drew a boy. What did he draw? Yes, he drew the Thing, right? But as a woman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Female, the
Yeah,
Thing.
right. Oh, I think. Hold on, just a second. Look, my wife is coming down, and she's giving me something cool that I can share. Thank you very much. So, Jay, I'm gonna put you. They won't be able to hear you for a minute, but I'm gonna flip it back to full screen, and yeah. So just so I could show this off. And you organized all the cards. Wow, this is something. So we were talking about Pokemon cards, and I was mentioning that my brother made this really cool box and gave it to my son, all his son's Pokemon cards, and I actually have it right here. So I'm going to show this. How cool is this? He actually took, looks like an iron-on of a Billy. What's this Pokemon? Blastoise. Who's that Pokemon? Yeah, yes, it was my nephew's favorite T-shirt. He actually cut it off and glued it on here. So you can take a look. I mean, it's a beautiful box, and you can open it up and see all the cards inside. Yeah, so it's really, really cool, and it even has room for all the mats and everything. So it's all nicely hinged and everything. So this is his passion, and I'm going to put this right over here. So shout out to my brother for that. Let me switch back to Skype so we can see. Okay, Jay, you're back on. All right. So we were talking about Matt, Free Lunch Studios on Monday, and this craziness here. So yeah, that's just my plug for a good friend and amazing artist. Who you said we were talking about? Yeah, he drew the thing as a woman. That was kind of cool, and that was actually a thing, right? I mean, that was the thing that was actually in the comics, right?
The female, I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no and upset anyone.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. Boy, I don't know where to start here. All right, let's get into a little inking.
Yeah.
So I got to admit, I mean, having a fitness coach on the call here, I got to ask a few questions, take advantage here. So I was doing some exercising today, and I think I mentioned I was doing what is it, dance? Not what is it called? Just Dance 2020 on the Xbox with my daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm making a complete fool of myself, and my Facebook friends probably saw a posting from my wife. Who took a video of me when I wasn't looking, of me dancing, make a fool of myself. So that was a lot of fun, but it is kind of cool, and it is great exercise. So you're stuck in the house, and I don't even know where to start, honestly. So what would you suggest for a good home workout if you don't have any real gear, weights or anything like that?
So my big suggestion, especially with kind of where everybody is at and the state of things, I wouldn't really necessarily worry about trying to go out and buy up a bunch of equipment. Obviously, one of the big things for a lot of people is like they're trying not to spend money, right? And what I would suggest is just find a heavy object. Like I like car batteries are super heavy, and you can use that for a million different things. And so just find a way to get some kind of resistance. For example, one thing that I've been telling a lot of people that I work with and that I talk to regularly, if you're looking for something to use, how about like your kids, super heavy? You
mean actually lift your kids, or did I miss something?
No, your kid's book bag.
Oh,
the book
okay.
bag.
I thought you meant okay. If you find your kids and lift them. All right. No, I get it now.
Use the kid's book bag. The other thing is like you could take. A lot of people have like the industrial like buckets. So grab one of those buckets and fill it with like some tools or anything that you have that could potentially like weigh it down. And that's another way to go about it.
Okay.
But and then from there, you're using that to hold on to for when you're doing squats, or you're doing deadlifts with that thing, or you're doing I I don't know, any number of exercises where you can kind of finagle it to weigh you down and give you some resistance, simply so that you don't have to kind of always do body weight exercises. Not that there's anything wrong with body weight exercises, but if that's all that you're doing, it's going to get old kind of quick. And it can get challenging just to kind of vary it up if you don't have something to work with.
Yeah, I got to admit that's why I tend to stop. Probably why a lot of people stop, is it just gets boring doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, and I completely get it, and that's why, that's why I think it's important to figure out your own way of making it interesting and differing it up. From a fitness professional standpoint, that's the hardest thing that we're dealing with right now is how do we facilitate the maximum amount of fitness with the most minimum amount of equipment.
Right, and it's not even like, even if you want to go out and buy some gear, you may not be able to. The stores may not be open, or it's just you don't feel comfortable going out. So I was kind of reminded of that too. I was trying to put together some equipment here in the studio, trying to make this work for me, and I can't go out. Amazon has a delay on everything that's not essential. So yeah. I ended up just down in my workshop, just trying to find pieces of wood that I could kind of nail together and fix, so that I could have like the webcam at the right space, and this my camera here that's suspended down. So I bet. Oh, excuse me. I bet there's probably something out there that you can use or nail together or even build that that could help you in your exercise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think that's what people who are into fitness are kind of realizing right now, is that, like, well, if I don't have it, like, I either need to make it, or I need to use something that's readily available to, to kind of help with the fitness.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people saying, Super D Cat says, how about a gallon jug of water? I bet a lot of people went out and bought some big jugs of water.
Yeah. Yep. The jug of water thing is what a lot of people are doing these days, and I think it's definitely a really good way to go. That's cost effective for what people have access to. So I think that's a great idea. That's coming along more. I think this guy looks all right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the shading's coming along really nicely.
I just I didn't go to art school, so like I never really know like if the way I'm attacking lighting and shading, like, is that how it's supposed to be done? I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't either. I took, and like a lot of people did, I probably had a art class in high school, but I don't even remember it really. I think I remember drawing a sneaker once. Take off your sneaker and draw it. Okay. I assume I learned perspective and all that great stuff, but honestly, I don't remember. So that's why I really like going to Matt's classes, because I learn all the fundamentals. Yeah. But yeah, and of course, you learn by doing too, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, you gotta. I mean, I think that's one big thing that holds a lot of people back, is they aren't willing to fail.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think myself included, I will start a million things, but I will rarely finish anything. And that is something that I'm working on. I don't know why that is about me. It's just some way I am, and that makes it tough to really appreciate, get some pieces that I'm proud of. So that's something I'm working on. And in fact, I thought this would be actually a good reason to finish some artwork. I mean, if I had to come here and do this in front of people, I would be kind of on the hook to finish it, right?
Sure. I think that's a great way of looking at it. And I think I always go back and forth. Some days I think, I like the fact that part of me likes the fact that I am not necessarily going to art school, because I don't know if what is eventually going to be my style would really be my style if I was to go to art school.
Mm.
A lot of my favorite artists who I look up to, they didn't go to art school, and they're very unique. And I think part of that is because they weren't they had less structure. So they learned on their own, and they made mistakes on their own, for better or worse. But I think there is something to that.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I agree. A lot of the folks that I follow on Instagram never had any formal training. They just had a passion, and they just drive on it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's that's another thing that um, some people may not realize or appreciate is um, making regular progress with your skill in art, um, without having any accountability from outside sources is very
Tell me
challenging.
about it. Yeah, that is so true. You really need, that's one of the things that I really like about Matt's class. I mean, I'm there on Thursday, and he frequently gives out homework, so you're kind of accountable in that perspective. You gotta finish up the homework. That makes all the difference. Or just knowing that I'm a boy. If I just go on Thursday and I never do any other drawing, I'm not going to get anywhere, and that's frustrating, especially when you're spending money on a class, or even if you're just going because you love it. You want to make progress, or it's not, you get you want to put it down and walk away if you're not making some progress.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, have anybody or any artists you're following currently doing any kind of big sales or anything?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. You mentioned somebody that you follow is, and I looked up that person's page, and I was amazed how much he was selling this stuff for. But
Who was that? I can't remember. I'm trying to
oh boy,
think.
I'm gonna have to go back to the Instagram thing. Yeah, hold on just a second. Da, 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 da. Scotty Young, was that it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Scotty's great. I mean, he's a very well known, very famous artist, and I think he just started a sale or something crazy like that, for whatever reason. But yeah, great dude. What a great dude.
Yeah, but I gotta say his stuff is pricey.
Yeah, and un, I don't know if you should say unfortunately or fortunately, but his stuff is also very. I mean, I feel like the time that it takes him to do a piece for what he charges is very. I mean, it's definitely an efficient use of his time. If he's spending seemingly um, maybe 30 minutes on a piece and he can sell it for $400 to $500. I mean,
Yeah, God
think
bless
about
him,
that.
because that's that's impressive. I mean, look, that's raw talent right there. But I was looking at his stuff. I was like, I'm not sure. I might buy a print. That his prints are kind of cool, and they're not too expensive, all in all.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, some of I guess he had a sketches area, and yeah, they
Yeah.
were. I mean, they're all really great stuff. They're all really great. I mean, and stuff, and some of the original artwork that he's doing, the fine detailed work that he's doing, is gorgeous. But
Yeah.
it's way out of my price range. I mean, he's selling some stuff for crazy money, but if you can get it, then that's really a testament to your skill, and great, I guess great marketing too. But I guess we should all
Yeah.
aspire to be, in that category.
Yeah. I think it's so amazing what some people are capable of doing from a business perspective with art.
Absolutely. All right.
I like the way this turtle is looking. I got to figure out how I'm going to do some kind of background.
Now, what were you thinking for a background?
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people do stuff like, like they do a stripe straight across, so it would kind of go diagonally like this or something.
Oh yeah, kind of like an abstract. Manga art. You know how they have the lines, they show like dynamic motion. Something like that could be cool too.
Yeah. And then some people like literally they'll put like little colors of circle colors like in the background just to kind of have something else that brings everything together.
Sure.
And I think on this piece, I think he's pretty much done. And I think the reason it doesn't necessarily look finished yet is because because I need to put a background in. So that'll be kind of next, what I figure out next.
I've seen some also, some brush colors, some brush work where they do like a Chinese symbol cuneiform. What do they call it? Cuneiform? No, I'm messing this up. But they'll have just like some satin red material behind, not material, but ink behind it. And it's really striking. It's the contrast of what's in the foreground and what's in the background.
Yeah, really cool. I know what you're talking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. I love that stuff. That stuff always looks really cool.
Yeah, I should just bring up an example of that. Maybe a little bit. Oh, hey, you got back up with the crane, huh?
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like all like all the posts that I've had, like they don't really do it justice. So like I want to try and figure out a way to get there. So I think what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna add some gray tones and some shading, and then figure out if I want to actually like fully color this, or I just want to shade it and then add like a splash of color in the background. So, but I think this feels to me very much like next level. I feel like this is outside of something I've done prior to, Yeah,
I would agree. And you're going bold with some of the inking too. It's starting to look really cool. I like under the wing.
Yep. Yeah. Just trying to, and like, you know what, at the end of the day, if I screw something up, then, I mean, whatever, like you gotta take risks to find your way.
Yeah, no question about that. I gotta admit, sometimes I'm a bit timid about that thing, especially when it comes to inking.
Yeah, I mean I think that's why it's important to practice in ink. Not all the time, but I think it's important to practice in ink so that you get comfortable enough with it that when you are laying down those final lines, that you're not shaky or worried about what you're doing. And like the turtle, like I took a long time off of that just because I didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
And now that I've taken some time off of it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. If I screw it up, I just, make another one.
Yeah, no, that's a good attitude. And honestly, it takes a little bit of nerve that sometimes I'm lacking to kind of make that commitment to jump in there. But it's awesome. So let's see. It's pretty quiet out there on the interwebs.
Is it?
Yeah. So just my brother joined.
Is he still hanging with us?
I can't tell exactly. Until someone types something, I never know. I'll check the statistics after we close it out.
That's odd that there's no way of knowing.
Well, there may very well be. I'm just kind of a newbie at this whole casting thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What's funny is I feel like I'm regularly getting more comfortable with getting closer to like a finished product on my drawings, and I don't really know where it's coming from. just maybe it is just I'm practicing more, and everything's coming together organically. But like, I don't know why, but I couldn't have done this like a month or two ago. No way.
Oh, you think so?
I don't think I would have been able to.
I don't know. I saw you put out some great stuff a while back. Some stuff I saw at the jam.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I get what you're saying, though. I think lately you've been improving dramatically.
Thank you. I mean, hopefully that's because I've had, yes, I've had just the time to do it.
Yeah, one thing about this self-imposed exile is we're all going to get a lot better at our passions, and we should be master comic artists before the end of this craziness. Oh,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
looks like David's still sorry, keep saying his name. Well, I guess everyone knows it's his name now. Sorry about that, but he's still with us.
Oh, how's it going, man? I wonder what he's up to today.
Well, he said when I talked to him earlier that he is kind of taking the week off. He's got business lined up, but yeah, it's for the time anyway. He's laying low.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that, man. If you can, jeez, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not working crazy hours, but I'm still, I'm churning every day. At least I'm able to go in and do some stuff.
Nice. Yeah, this is the second day of me not being at my corporate job. So I'm currently, you call it unemployed, you can call it retired, you can call it I don't know what, but just it's really weird. And in fact, I told my wife today. I said, you know what? I just want to go in the office. I just because it's all this the stress of what's going on, and my kids starting up their homeschooling, which maybe we could talk about that for a little bit. I could kind of share with how that's going. I won't not to give away all the details of everything, but it's challenging. It really is to and I kind of I understand it, right? You're used to the structure of your day and going into school and doing your thing, and now you're being asked to man your own schedule, and you've never done this before as a kid. You've always been had a very structured learning environment driven by a teacher. And now you're being asked to manage your own schedule, to kind of organize things, get everything done on several different classes without a lot of prompting.
Almost like college.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said, these. I mean, I'm sure the elementary school kids have a lot more. Their parents are asked to do a lot more, but like for the high school kids, it's probably almost closer to like a college prep situation where they need to be somewhat self-reliant, and like they need to make their own schedules.
Exactly. Yeah, and it is, I think, good practice if you can pull it off, if you've got the the organizational skills. And I gotta look, my daughter's a freshman in high school, and she just never had to do anything like this before. My son's not quite in high school yet, but he's being asked to do a lot too. So I think at the end of this, it's going to be a good learning experience. But there's no doubt that day 2 of this, it's not easy. It really isn't. I got to give them a lot of credit for doing what they're doing.
And I'm sure that's a big struggle that the teachers are going through as well. Like, I mean, God knows how stressful it is on the back end.
Yeah, I was saying my sister-in-law is a teacher, and yeah, I think she's got to put a full day in, and she was telling me that probably the biggest challenge is just sitting at a desk at home, just sitting still, doing her thing, when she's used to getting the kids herded from class to class, kind of organizing things, taking them outside, and to now have all that taken away and have to do it virtually, I gotta hand it to her. That's challenging. That's really challenging.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely sounds extremely involved, and I mean I can't even begin to understand the scope of how complex everything has become for teachers. But God bless them.
Yeah, I mean they're the backbone of this, and they're making sure that our kids stay educated through all this mess and all these distractions, and it's not an easy job. Even under ideal situations, it's not an easy job.
No, yeah, exactly.
All right.
Have you guys gone out to get any like food or anything from local places, or are you not even doing that?
I'm trying to even avoid going to the grocery store unless
Yeah.
we have to. I mean, we'll go out. No question, we'll have to at some point. But I did stock up pretty good before this really came down. We haven't taken advantage of any takeout in, I guess, a week or two, and I don't know. At this point, I think I'd just rather eat something from the grocery store. Just want to play it safe, you know?
Yeah. I'm just trying to I have a few friends that own like restaurants. So I feel bad. I'm trying to like support them as much as I can.
How are they? How are they holding up?
I think just like most industries, it's kind of a mixed bag. Like honestly, you don't really hear many positive reports from anyone on how business is going.
Yeah.
Um,
There's some of these businesses, these restaurants, they're not set up for takeout, or well, I mean, I guess most of them will, but if it's not their primary business, I gotta think it's gonna be tough.
yeah, and God knows what kind of stability even takeout's giving people, because I imagine it's not perfect.
No.
So hopefully, you like to think that hopefully the takeout's at least paying the bills. Hopefully it's not just slowing down the sinking of any kind of ship. Hopefully if nothing else, it keeps the lights on for everybody.
Yeah, and it keeps folks employed. I mean, how can you keep your full wait staff when all you're doing is takeout? I don't know.
Yeah. No clue. No clue how that works.
All right, I got most of this sketched out, I think. How are we doing on time? Let's see. We're trying to keep a reasonable time frame on the broadcast here.
Sure. Yeah. Where are we? I don't even know. I've just been churning.
Yeah, it's like 5:30. It's probably approaching 40 minutes. Time just flies by, huh?
Yeah, especially when you're just chilling and drawing.
Yeah, I think we'll when I'm done, I'm gonna finish the line work and then probably finish it up off camera and then do something else for the next one. That's I'm also very impressed with how Matt can just crank out some portrait in no time. That's something I aspire to. I mean, I'd like to finish one of these things in one of these sessions. I don't know when that's ever going to happen, but
it will. It will.
Yeah.
Whew. All right, some shading is done.
Looking good.
Just slowly but surely, little by little. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if that's right. I don't know if it's supposed to be done that way, but that's the way I did it, and people are gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, how many times have I heard that on a video? an artist's video. I think that's there is no one way to do anything. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think the next step here is gonna have to be starting to color it. It's just like now, like I don't know, like I'm in such a odd place with color. It's like, do I throw watercolor on here, or do I bust out my markers and practice with those? I don't.
yeah, I know I'm not used to the coloring myself, and I mean, you could see all I did was for this I just threw in a little bit of highlight color, and that's probably all I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to fully
Yeah,
load this thing. And that's
I
probably fine
like it.
because it highlights the Pokemon and not the guy behind it, which is kind of incidental to my way of thinking.
I like it. I think it looks. I think the little creatures look really good.
Yeah, thank you.
I think one of my big things that I need to work on getting better at is using more black.
Like stronger lines or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Just like bigger spaces of black on what I'm working.
Yeah, I got it. I get what you're saying.
I just have like such a hesitation against that. Just I think in part because I've been working for so long on just getting good at, or getting, not getting good, but getting comfortable at least with just the line work. That now I need to get better at committing to like really serious like spaces of black, especially when it comes to like superhero costumes and whatever else.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen some amazing ink work, especially like you look at some of the Batman graphic novels. They're just gorgeous, and yeah, like you look at like Jim Lee is just an amazing talent. I guess he's running DC now or something, right? I mean, Matt, it knows every little thing about what's going on in the industry. I don't know it all, but do you know that? What's going on there?
Yeah, I believe he's like I don't know what his title is, but he's pretty high up at DC. I don't think he really answers to anyone
Yeah,
at DC.
yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I guess the comic book industry is in trouble, and
Oh God,
they're
yeah.
not. I guess they're not. That mentioned on the jam, they're not really going to be distributing comics anymore.
Nope. I mean, how can they with stores closed?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So I don't know how comic book stores are going to stay in business.
I mean, a lot of comic book stores aren't really killing it anyway. Like a lot of them are. I mean, I don't, from what I understand, not a lot of comic shops are, have influxes of massive amounts of expendable income and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it seems like when you go into a comic book store now, you see like half the place is Funko Pops and other
Yeah.
collectibles, and you got to go with where the money is, right? I mean, that's
Yeah. I mean, that's what GameStop had to do for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see. Just kind of see how that evolves, and
Well, I hope things turn around.
me too.
I was never a comic book guy growing up, and
Yeah, I wasn't.
it's something I came into late. A friend of mine kind of introduced me to a few comics that he reads, and so I did start a little bit of collecting, but I got to admit my stash is not very impressive.
Oh, you mean of like comics that you have at your house?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I don't really have much of anything to write home about for sure. But that's okay. Doesn't need to be the case.
Yeah.
I like this part of like this part of that world more than anything. I've actually comics was kind of the segue for me to get into art, and I to be honest, and like this is nothing against comics, the more I get into art, the more I drift away from comics, and the more I get into, well, graphic design people or people who do fine art and then comics every now and then, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and I think that's where the money is. So that's where you're seeing people, put their talents and focus their work.
Yeah.
Because I mean that guy we were talking about, my brain just the Scotty Young. I mean,
Yeah, Scotty Young.
Scotty Young. Now I don't know what his does he just do this? I mean, does he work in the industry or?
Yeah, he works for. He does a lot of work for Image.
Oh wow. Okay.
Image and Marvel. He has his own. He's writing a comic. He's illustrating at least one, and then he does a lot of covers for Marvel.
Oh, okay. That explains things.
So he's kind of like, I guess you could say he's kind of like a freelance, like a full-time freelancer for all of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I mean, he crunches it. He's always in demand.
Yeah, the original artwork that was mentioning cover variants. It was hard to tell it was a cover because it didn't have everything else on it. But yeah, it explains why it was so pricey there.
Oh God, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because original cover artwork goes for a lot of money, especially if you're one of the big three or one of the big you work for one of the big comic book houses.
Yeah, he definitely is well known enough where he can charge big money, and he does, and he's worth it. Like he's in demand and he's getting what he's worth and enjoying life, and he should.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think I like that. I'm going to leave that for now.
Yeah. And I think I am going to leave this for now. I definitely have some more line work to do, but I think it's getting to a point where I'm pretty happy with the thing overall.
Nice.
I hope he doesn't look too much like Ash. That was my point. I was trying to make him not look like the Mr. Pokemon. He kind of looks like a jerk, bringing out the disease Pokemon anyway.
Maybe that's how this whole thing got started.
It could be. It could be. Some jerk out there played the wrong Pokemon. And here we are.
I saw some meme earlier today, almost right before we got on the stream, that was like obviously like a fake tweet, but it was God or Jesus, and he was like, "Hey guys, I just got back from a short vacation. What's new?"
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Yeah. Oh, Super D Cat said he thought it was Ash. Well, it's not Ash. It's probably, yeah. Well, never mind. Another word that begins with A. I mean, I don't know. We'll just leave it to your imagination. So I'll review it next time. Next time we get together, I'll show you how far it's gotten.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. I gotta figure out what to do with these other two pieces. This is just kind of like a practice piece, doing some little some weird tree looking thing. And,
oh yeah, very cool.
And obviously playing around with tones and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, so we'll have to do a sketchbook review one of these calls sometime.
Oh, that'd be cool.
showcase all my rough stuff. I don't tend to finish anything, so it's all like really just pencil sketches. So that's part of what this is all about, is to get me going more into the finishing stuff up. But I'm happy to share the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, share the progress, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking for feedback, folks, from comments. If you can put some comments below on how this presentation went, how this broadcast went, and just let me know that if we should be doing more of this. I also want to get my daughter to do the same thing, but here in the studio, and kind of get her take on all this craziness that's going on. And
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and if anyone has some other ideas for things they'd like to see, I'm very open to it. I want to bring Jay back, and of course I want to see if I can get some other folks to join as well, and we'll see where it goes. But really, anything is fair game for discussion, and no one has to be an artist, but I'll sit here and doodle while we're having that conversation. So, how do you think it went today, Jay?
Good. Yeah, I think today went really good. I didn't start anything new, but I like chipping away at things that I've that I've been working on. Maybe we could, maybe like you said, maybe we can come up with like a theme, or have a little bit more of like a direction when we go. So it's, like, hey, me and Bill are we're going to start a new project today, or we're going to work on the projects we've been working on, and then we're going to talk about, I don't know, maybe our favorite artist, or go through, like, I have a ton of art books that I love. So maybe like I could go through like bits and pieces of one of those, or something like that. I don't know, just ideas.
I like that idea. Yeah, and we could even bring them up on the computer. I can
Yeah. Oh
share
yeah,
share
yeah.
the desktop, and we can take a look at some different sites and take a look at some different artists.
Yeah. I like that.
And maybe I can get that famous Matt Ryan to stop by at in one of these broadcasts. We'll see.
I'm sure we could.
I mean, he's just sitting around these days, right? Like all of us. He's like the hardest working guy I
Yeah.
know, so I'm sure he's busy, but maybe he can squeeze us in someday. Anyway, Jay, thanks again for joining me, and I think it was fun, and I had a great time, and hopefully everyone else
Yeah.
thought it was fun, and it was great seeing what you're working on and catching up with you. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
just hold on. I'm just going to finish it up, and we'll get back to you in a sec. All right. So again, this is Trapsis Draws, episode 2. Thanks for joining us, and please leave a comment below if you have a thought on future shows, or how you think it went, or anything we can do to improve. I definitely am open and eager to hear from your feedback. All right. Thanks, and take care.